Thank you for joining us today for the second day of Gaura Purnima pre-celebrations. Um, and we will be having sessions every day until Saturday, 7 to 8 p.m., all online, and on glorifying Lord Chaitanya and pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Um, and today I have the privilege of introducing you a very young Vaishnavi, and daughter of Satyarupa Prabhu and Rasmai Mataji, is Samanvitha. And Samanvitha is a sixth grade student, and she in last year she recited all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita from memory, like so without looking at the book, at New Jersey temple. So she's a great Vaishnavi and exalted devotee. So today she's going to talk about the Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, which is demigods visit Jagannath Mishra's home to see little Nimai. With that, over to you, Samanvita.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your kind words. So there are two things or three things that we do on Gaura Purnima. So we do Siksha Vows, which is when we take an oath to chant a set number of rounds for the whole year until the next Gaura Purnima. So we also do Abhisheka, where we bathe the Lord and we offer food to Krishna. So I picked two stories that show us why we do these things and the importance of doing them. So the first story that I will be presenting is Miraculous Visitors Visit Lord Nimai. So one time, as a baby, the Lord was crawling around in the courtyard of Mother Sachi and Jagannath Mishra. At that time, Jagannath Mishra was sleeping in the room next to the altar, and Mother Sachi and Lord Chaitanya were outside on the veranda. Just then, the courtyard filled up with denizens from the higher planets. Some had special armor, some had two heads, and they were beautifully decorated. With them, there were brahmanas. Mother Sachi wanted to call her husband. She wanted to call, but she could not move. She opened her mouth to scream, but it was a silent scream. No voice came out. She was stunned. This photo shows all of the demigods with their powers. Even the exalted demigods wanted to serve Krishna with all their powers. So then they took baby Chaitanya from her lap and placed him on a special golden table. On it, they had a golden throne and a little bathing platform of jeweled gold that they placed Nimai on. Then, while some of these celestial beings from the higher planets were chanting mantras, some priests were performing a big abhishek, and everybody was coming and bathing the Lord with milk and yogurt. It was a complete abhisheka, and the Lord was enjoying it very much. On Guru Purnima, we do abhishek to please the Lord, but this was when he was a small child, just as a toddler. So this is a picture of Lord Krishna being bathed, um, just like this, on a golden table. Um, so many demigods were bathing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mother Sachi was watching him, and she was amazed. After the Devas bathed Lord Chaitanya, washed him up, and dried him, they put him down on the veranda, and as he was walking, with every step there was the sound of ankle bells, ching, ching, ching. Then he turned towards the Devas and told them to chant Hare Krishna and dance. Mother Sachi was looking, but there were no ankle bells on his ankles. The sound was still coming. He had noticed so many amazing things were going down over there. After the Devas bathed Lord Chaitanya, washed him off, and dried him, they put him on the veranda. Then he turned to the Devas and told him to chant Hare Krishna and dance. Then Lord Chaitanya, baby Nimai, came over to the other side of the house, and he told the devas, chant Hare Krishna. So all the devas started to have a big kirtan. They started to dance, and Lord Chaitanya was dancing and chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All the devas were chanting, having this big kirtan, and Mother Sachi was watching. When they were all chanting and dancing, the little Nimai, who could normally hardly walk, started to dance, kicking up his feet and dancing in the kirtan, raising his hand. This is Lord Chaitanya doing a kirtan on the streets of Navadvip when he grew up. But as a child only, he did kirtan and enjoyed it very much. Then the kirtan became very ecstatic, and when Mother Sachi saw all of this, she was so overwhelmed that she fainted. She hit the ground. Mother Sachi was so amazed to see all of these extraterrestrial beings chanting and dancing Hare Krishna that she fainted and fell unconscious. This is just like the pastime when Mother Yashoda sees the whole universe in Lord Krishna's mouth. It's just like that. Jagannath Mishra heard the sound of her falling over, so she came to help her, to see what happened. Sachi, Sachi, is everything all right? Then Mother Sachi woke up and looked around. She saw Nima in the courtyard, crawling around in the sun. She started crying. Pati, Pati. Then Jagannath Mishra came running over and jumped up. She jumped up. She was hysterical and crying. She embraced her. What's wrong? What can I do? What is happening? Why are you crying? Then Mother Sachi explained everything that she saw. But then she looked around, and everything was normal. Nobody was there. She doubted whether what happened was real, and she asked Jagannath Mishra, did it really happen, or was it just a dream? They looked around in the courtyard, and there was no evidence of any Abhisheka. No milk, no yogurt, no water. It was all dry. It looked like nobody was over there. Maybe you just have a dream, he said. While they were discussing this, they heard the sound, ching, ching, ching. They looked, and it was coming from Lord Nimai's feet. It was the sound of ankle bells, but he had no ankle bells on his feet. Of course, celestial beings can come and go, and normally they are invisible to us. So if they want to clean up after themselves, or do something on another level or another dimension, they can do that. Every day there were so many amazing things happening in the pastimes of baby Nimai. Some realizations that I got from this pastime are the demigods always want to please Krishna. So, as devotees, we should always look for an opportunity to serve Krishna. When we do Abhishek on Gaura Purnima, we please the Lord very much and our sins will be washed away. We're also following in the footsteps of very great Vaishnavas, or the demigods. Another realization is, even at such a young age, Lord Chaitanya's mission was always to chant the holy name of Krishna. So, this Gaura Purnima, we should commit an amount of rounds and pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give us spiritual strength so we can chant nicely. So another pastime that I will be reading is Nimai accepts offerings of Jagadish and Hiranya Pandita. This pastime shows us the importance of chanting and offering prasadam to Krishna. The time for Nimai's formal education approached. Fixing an auspicious day and time, Sri Jagannath Mishra formally placed the writing chalk in the hand of his son. The Karnabheda ceremony, which marked the beginning of Nimai's Vedic studies, was also observed. Nimai amazed everyone by writing down all the alphabet letters immediately upon seeing them. After a few days, Shudakarna ceremony was performed, wherein young Brahmin boys shaved their heads, leaving only a shikha. In a matter of just 3 days, Nimai learned all conjunct letters and spent his time writing different names of the Supreme Lord, like Rama, Murari, Vanamali, and etc. The living entities became encaptured just by hearing Nimai's sweet recitation of Bengali alphabet. The Lord of Vaikunta, Narayan, in the guise of child Nimai, studied day and night with other children in Nadia. Unable to catch the birds flying in the sky, Nimai wept bitterly and rolled in the dust, thrashing his arms and his legs. At such times, everyone would try to pacify Nimai. Jagannath Mishra would take him in his arms, but little Nimai would not be pacified. Looking at the moon and stars, he would cry out, "Give! Give!" The only remedy for Nimai's crying was performing kirtan. Everyone would clap their hands and chant, "Hari, Hari." Only then would Nimai forget his distress and begin to dance in joy. He converted Jagannath Mishra's house into the transcendental abode of Vaikunta. One day, in spite of loud chanting of Hari's name, Nimai continued crying. Someone said, "Speak, child. Tell us what you want. We will get whatever you like, but stop crying." Nimai said, "If you want to save my life, then go quickly to the houses of my dear devotees, Jagadish and Hiranya Pandit. I am very much attracted to the homes of these two pure devotees, and if I could eat their offerings, I would become healthy and behave normally." Jagadish and Hiranya Pandita were the topmost devotees of the Lord and close friends of Jagannath Mishra. When they heard the Lord's request, they were filled with joy. The two Brahmin Vaishnavas said, "This is extraordinary. We have never seen such an intelligent child. How could he know that today is Ekadasi and a large variety of food has been offered to the Lord?" Now we must understand the child's exquisite beauty. Lord Gopal, Krishna, must be residing in him. The Supreme Lord Narayan acts through this boy. Sitting in his heart, the Lord prompts Nimai to speak in amazing ways. The two topmost devotees took all the offerings to Nimai's house and said, "Take all the offerings we made for the Lord. By doing so, our desire to satisfy Krishna will be fulfilled." The Lord happily received all the offerings and tasted a little something from every preparation. The Lord's eternal servants, Jagadish and Hiranya Pandit, saw to their full satisfaction how the Supreme Lord, as a Brahmin child, performed his transcendentally playful pastimes. Smiling, the Lord ate all the offerings. All his unusual whims were satisfied. Everyone in the house sang Hari Hari. The Lord ate and danced to the chanting of his own name. This is how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, described in all Vedas and Puranas, performed his transcendental pastimes, only seen and understood by his fortunate and confidential associates. Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. In this pastime, we can see two important details. The Lord is very pleased by his devotees offering him prasadam, and he's very pleased by the chanting of the name. So, this Gaura Purnima, we should chant, offer the Lord prasadam, and do abhishek. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Samanvitha, for immersing us in the ecstasy of Lord Chaitanya's childhood pastimes. Amazing. Thank you so much. Any questions to Samanvitha? Or anyone would like to add anything on this topic? All right, then. So I think we are a little early, ahead of schedule a bit. Abhay Charan Prabhu, are you ready to present?
Sure, Prabhu, but really, Samanvitha, it was beautiful presentation and very well spoken and such a nice Leela you put. Thank you so much. Actually, your presentation gives a very good, let me put my video. Just once.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a very
Thank
good platform to really for the whole week. Thank you so much. Because understanding the Leela of Lord Chaitanya and that too childhood pastimes gives actually a lot of ecstasy. Thank you so much, Vita. That was wonderful. Very
Thank you,
happy.
Prabhuji.
Very happy to see that.
Cool. Prabhuji, please allow me to introduce you so to the congregation. Our next speaker, as you all are aware, will be Abhay Charan Prabhu. Abhay Charan Prabhu is a disciple of Sriman Sri Sankarshan Das Adhikari, and we lovingly call him Gurudev. Prabhu has been practicing Krishna conscious for many years now, and has been a Siksha Guru for thousands of people from of all ages, right? Especially Prabhu and Mataji, they train the young people, especially from they are 3-year-old as well. So they are well known in our congregation. So with that, I will open up the floor to Abhay and Prabhu for his session. Thank you, Prabhu. Over to you. Prabhu, you are muted, Prabhu.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu, for the kind words. I don't think I'll try to live up to that, but I'm not there yet. That was more glorification than necessary. But yeah, thank you. So today I thought we'll talk about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes and basically in relation with his devotees. Because generally, when we talk about the Lord most dear to Lord are his devotees. So I was thinking what to speak, and I felt talking about Sanatana Goswami would be a wonderful story to discuss and talk about it. So there's a story about Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami are one of the first disciples of Lord Chaitanya. And the most, in fact, we are all called Rupa Nugas, which means followers of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami are brothers. Sanatana Goswami is the elder brother, and Rupa Goswami is the younger brother. And two of them actually meet Lord Chaitanya in Ramakeli. So Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they were before they were ministers in the courtyard of Nawab Hussain Shah. So they were so intelligent and so profound in the different languages that Nawab Hussain Shah would actually rely on them for everything. So if he would go to any wars or any fightings, that he would just give it the whole kingdom to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami to run it, and he would peacefully go for the battle and come back. Or any official work he would go. So he would rely so much on them. But one fine day, what happens is Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they meet Lord Chaitanya in Ramakeli, where they were actually, Ramakeli is where they were working for Nawab Hussain Shah. So, Chaitanya, they have the desire to completely give up everything and just follow Lord Chaitanya and follow his in the footsteps and become the disciples. So Lord Chaitanya asked them to come and meet them later. And then Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they decide that they want to leave their job and go. So Rupa Goswami happens to convince Nawab Hussain Shah and leave. So he retires and goes away. But when Sanatana Goswami wants to do that, Nawab Shah is now very angry because there is no way he can find ministers of that caliber. They were so good that they knew everything in and out of the kingdom, and they were so reliable also for Nawab Hussain Shah. So Nawab Hussain Shah, he becomes extremely angry, and he says, now that you're trying to go, I'll put you in jail. So he imprisons Sanatana Goswami in the jail, and he goes away for his official work. So Sanatan Goswami is now imprisoned in the jail, and now he's thinking how to escape this prison. So meanwhile, Rupa Goswami sends him a letter. He sends him a letter and gives him that asks him to actually meet Lord Chaitanya. Then now Lord Chaitanya is going to Mathura, so why don't you come there? So then now Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami also tells him that there is some gold coins that he can use to help him get out of this jail, in prison. Now Sanatan Goswami is meditating, and then he sees, okay, let me do one thing. Let me try to bribe this jailkeeper who is a meat eater actually, and a Muslim guy, and he's a meat eater. And Sanatan Goswami thinks, he calls him and says, see, we are, when I was a minister, I helped you a lot. Now it is your time to help me. And to free a person from the imprisonment is the greatest service that you can do, is that you can, he tells the jailkeeper. And the jailkeeper and Rupa Sanatan Goswami, being minister himself, he knows how to negotiate and how to talk. So he starts praising this jailkeeper. Oh, you are so learned, you know so many, so many scriptures, you know Quran and so many books like that. And you are very kind. And he starts praising that person. And this jailkeeper is hardly any education. He had hardly any education. But still, when someone starts praising, obviously we start feeling, oh, wow. So he also started getting elevated, and he says, oh, yes, I'm very learned, and we are good friends. So then he says, I can leave you, but what about the king? He will come and kill me if I leave you. Then Sanatan Goswami says, oh, don't worry about that. I'll give you a good excuse for that. And he says, just tell him that I wanted to pass some stool, and I went to Ganga. And when Sanatan Goswami goes to Ganga, there he jumped into the river, Ganga, and then he died. And I searched for him, and because he had all the cups, so he could not, probably he must have drowned and died. And he says, on top of that, I'll give you 5,000 coins, gold coins. So now Sanatan Goswami has bribed him with money, with words, and he's also gave him a nice excuse that he can give. And he also gave him a nice excuse that if you release a person from imprisonment, it's a glorious thing. Actually, Sanatan Goswami was also hinting in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's mentioned that he's also hinting that to release a person from the clutches of the imprisonment of this material world or Maya, is anyone who does that, he is doing the greatest service. But this jailer is so enamored and so happy that he's thinking, yes, Sanatan Goswami is praising me. So Sanatan Goswami has simultaneously praised him and also actually gave him, gave the highest philosophy, that to preach is to preach the glories of the Lord, and to get a person out of the shackles of this cycle of birth and death and shackles of these three modes of nature is the greatest service. So now this jailer is still hesitant. He's thinking, he's thinking, should I leave him or not? Then immediately Sanatan Goswami ups the price. He says, okay, do one thing. I'll give you 7,000 coins. And he starts putting those coins in front of him. And seeing those gold coins, actually shining coins in front of him, he's like maddened with greed. So immediately he says, don't worry, I'll send you. So what he does, he takes him, he opens the shackles and leaves Sanatan Goswami. So now Sanatan Goswami starts walking along the Ganges road and Ganges, and starts walking towards escaping now. So while he was doing that, he could not take the regular route of which is the proper roads, because everywhere the guards are there, and if they find him, he will be imprisoned again or punished. So somehow through the forest he's going, and while he was going, his servant also joins him. And by the way, that remaining 3,000 gold coins, he just leaves and goes. Sanatana Goswami doesn't even bother about taking this. He doesn't think that, okay, if I take those 3,000 gold coins, I can happily go in a very comfortable way on this in this journey of escaping. But he's so renounced, he completely gave up that 3,000 also. So now he's immediately after some time, Ishana, his servant, follows him. And Ishana also follows him, and they go together, and somehow the whole walking, they reach what is the place known as Patada. There, they're hungry, they're not eaten for 2 days, they're just walking. So when they look for a hotel, and they find a landlord who is there, and they ask him, can you please help us? We are trying to escape. We want to cross the hills. So this landlord amazingly comes to know that these people have money. So gold coins. So in fact, someone palmist, actually, he tells this landlord that Sanatan Goswami and his servant, they have 8 gold coins with them. So this landlord devises a cruel plan, that what he thinks is, okay, let them take rest here. Then once they take rest, I'll kill them and get those 8 coins. So now he says, oh, he nicely, warmly welcomes the two, and he says, oh, don't worry about it. Don't go as now. It is, you are not eaten. So why don't you cook for yourself? Take some rest here, and then I'll help you go in the on your path. So then Sanatan Goswami cooks nicely, and after having prasadam, since he is a minister, he is very smart. So he understands that there is something fishy or something wrong here. That why would a stranger, or for no reason, and Sanatan Goswami and his servant Ishan, they're looking very, torn clothes. They're not eaten for so many days, so they don't look good also now in this condition. So why would anyone stranger help us like this? So then Sanatan Goswami immediately asks Ishan, do you have any money? And then that Ishan, he confesses and says, I have 7 gold coins. So immediately Sanatan Goswami chastises him. So how dare you do that? Because this is a road to hell, or basically we'll die because of this. We'll go to Yamaloka. So then immediately Sanatan Goswami takes those 7 gold coins and goes to the landlord and says, these are the 7 gold coins that we have. Please keep it and help us cross this place, this hilly region. Then this landlord's heart melts, and he says, actually, I know before only that you have 8 gold coins. So I was planning to kill you both and take that money. So now that you have voluntarily come and surrendered, I don't want to do the sin of killing a saintly person. So you have relieved me of that, but I don't need this gold coins. You keep it with you, but I'll help you cross the hilly region. So Sanatan Goswami is very happy, but he says, I don't want this money. If you don't take these 7 gold coins, someone else will take it. So someone else will kill me. So instead you take it and you help me. So now this landlord is even more happy, and he says, okay, he takes the 7 gold coins, and then sends 4 watchmen along with Sanatan Goswami and Ishan to help him cross the hilly region. So when he crosses the hilly region, and then Sanatan Goswami asks this servant, he says, now you can go home. You take that gold coin that you have already with you, and you go home. And Sanatan Goswami now starts walking alone. So now he is walking, and he is so very tired, and he does not eaten properly, and he's been going on. Then Sanatan Goswami, when he reaches a place which is called as, I forget the place name, but when he reaches a place, there he finds that his brother-in-law or sister's husband is actually over there. Or rather, actually, he doesn't find. His brother-in-law sees Sanatan Goswami, and then Sanatan Goswami, he meets Sanatan Goswami later in the night, along with his the brother-in-law and his servant go and meet Sanatan Goswami in the night. Here, the brother-in-law and Sanatan Goswami, they talk the whole night. They have a talk about it, how Sanatan Goswami escaped the prison, how he bribed the jailer, and how he walked all along and came. Now the brother-in-law is seeing his Sanatan Goswami, that such an opulent minister, and he's seeing him in such a bad condition, and he feels very sorry for him. And so he offers him, why don't you stay with me for 2 or 3 days? Then I'll help you go to Lord Chaitanya. Then Sanatan Goswami says, no, I've somehow fortunately escaped the prison. And now I don't want to be caught up in material prison, where Sanatan Goswami's brother-in-law is very rich and also very loving and friendly. So then attachment will develop, and then he will be caught. So he says, no, I want to go right now. So then his brother-in-law gives him a nice shawl, a very woolen blanket shawl for him to wear. And then Sanatan Goswami leaves. Now Sanatan Goswami finally somehow reaches Varanasi or Banaras. So there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has actually come from Allahabad to Varanasi. Now, Sanatan Goswami comes in front of the house where Chandrasekhara, Lord Chaitanya, is staying in Chandrasekhara's house. If I'm not mistaken, that's the name. Chandrasekhara's house. Then Lord Chaitanya, no mistakenly, obviously, Lord Chaitanya knows everything. So he comes to know that Sanatan Goswami has come, and he asks Chandrasekhara to go and call the Vaishnava sitting outside. So when he comes out and he says everywhere, there is no Vaishnava. So he goes back to Lord Chaitanya and says, Lord Chaitanya, there is no Vaishnava there. Then Lord Chaitanya says, no, go and see, is there anyone? Then when he goes again and checks, he sees Dharavesha, which is a Muslim mendicant, is waiting outside. So then Lord Chaitanya asks to ask him to come inside. Now when he comes inside, Lord Chaitanya and Sanatan Goswami meet, and they embrace each other with so much love and so much feeling that they're starting to cry, and their meeting is so ecstatic that Chandrasekhara, he's shocked that how can two people love each other so much, and they embrace each other. Lord Chaitanya is now massaging Sanatan Goswami out of love, like a father who is lost, his lost child has come back. He's massaging him and cleaning up, because Sanatan Goswami has been walking and hardly eaten anything, and for so many days, and his condition was such bad. He was very dirty, he was unclean, unshaven, he was looking like Srila Prabhupada says, like a hippie. So, and long hair, but still the love between them, seeing the love between them, he was shocked. And you can see how much, if we go back to the Lord, how much it pleases the Lord. So this mood was exhibited there. where Lord Chaitanya meets Sanatana Goswami. And Lord Chaitanya places Sanatana Goswami on a high stool and starts cleaning him out of love, out of affection, out of that mood. So then Sanatana Goswami, he starts feeling embarrassed that he's so dirty and the Lord is even touching him. He very mildly, or rather in an embarrassing way, he asks, Lord, please don't touch me. Then the Lord actually says that touching a Vaishnava like you, I am getting purified. I mean, the mood that in which Lord Chaitanya tells Sanatana Goswami that the Lord is getting purified by touching a Vaishnava. So that, and then he cleans, and then the Lord asks him that you go and clean up and come, then we'll have prasadam. So, Chandrasekhara actually takes him, and then they take a bath and then come back, cleans up, and he gets shaved up and cuts his hair, and now he's like a saint. So, in fact, Srila Prabhupada in this, he writes in the purport, he mentions that Krishna consciousness means cleanliness and shaving of clean shaven and small hair is one should not keep long hair or long beards. We don't keep, because that is what is the practices for Krishna consciousness. So anyway, now he comes back, and when Sanatana Goswami comes back, Lord Chaitanya looks at him he looks at him, is very happy now, but still the Sanatana Goswami notices that Lord has something. He's looking at him, but something is not satisfying the Lord. Then immediately understands, oh, nah, he have given up everything, but the woolen shawl that his brother-in-law gave out of affection, he was keeping that. So immediately Sanatana Goswami understands this, and he goes to the banks of the river, and there he sees a Bengali merchant washing his old torn shawl, and then he asks that Bengali merchant, can you take this new shawl and give me your old shawl? Then the merchant actually feels embarrassed. Why are you joking to a poor person? You should not be saying, you look like a very gentleman. Why should you be making such remarks? So Sanatana Goswami says, no. Actually, I want to exchange this new shawl with this old shawl that you have, with the tone and everything. So then the Bengali merchant actually happily gives him. When he gives it, then when Sanatana Goswami comes back, now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is extremely happy. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentions, see, you have given up everything. That small material attachment, I wanted you to give up that also. Now that you have given up, now you have nothing to stop you. Now you have everything that pure devotee is completely renounced. So then later on, they go out for lunch. One Maharashtrian, he actually invites Lord Chaitanya and Sanatana Goswami. When they have the lunch, and later on, he says, as long as you're in Kashi, please come to my house. And he invites Sanatana Goswami to please come to my house and have lunch every day. But that Sanatana Goswami refuses, and he says that I have now taken up Madhukari. I'll just go and beg outside. Madhukari is basically going out and begging and getting little, whatever people give, little, and they take from different houses. Little, when they have enough, they just stop. So in one house, they don't even take more than a lot. They just take very little. Just like a honeybee goes to each flower, takes little honey from each flower, and then builds honey nest. So similarly, Madhukari is going to each house and taking little from everyone's house and eating whatever, whether it is stale or whatever it is. So he wants to do that, and then this is very pleasing to the Lord, actually, the renunciation. Of course, we cannot, we as, we are in a neophyte stage, we can say about ourselves. So this we cannot imitate, but we see that giving up complete renunciation of material things and taking up Krishna consciousness is the highest principle. So now Sanatan Goswami is, the Lord gives him instructions on who are we. So in this, very interesting, when the Lord meets Sanatan Goswami presents to the Lord as someone who has no knowledge. I have no knowledge because I don't know who am I myself. So, but people call me a very learned scholar. But Lord, my Lord, I don't know who am I. So what is it talking about? What is, how can I be called a learned person? In this mode of Sanatan Goswami, he is actually very pleasing to the Lord, and then the Lord gives him all the knowledge that is needed. And specifically, the Lord gives him some instructions where to Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami together, actually, that some specific instructions he gives is like, one is to uncover the pastimes of Sri Krishna, the places of pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, and install deities and arrange for their puja, and compile bhakti scriptures, and propagate these rules of devotional service, devotional life. So we see that all the teachings that Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami have given actually have is what Srila Prabhupada has given us, and we are actually following that. And with that, I'll just give a few points that Sanatan Goswami, about Sanatan Goswami, and then we can end here. So one is, we know that Sanatan Goswami was in Persian. He knew Persian, Sanskrit language, and other languages. And he met Lord Chaitanya first in Ramakeli. And then he's Sanatan Goswami. The main thing, there's one more point I wanted to make, where Lord Chaitanya tells him that Lord Chaitanya quotes the verse where Yudhishthira Maharaj tells Vidura that saints of your caliber, I'll read the translation from Bhagavatam 1:13-10. Saints of your caliber on themselves are places of pilgrimage. Because of their purity, they're constant companions of the Lord, and therefore they can purify even the places of pilgrimage. So Lord Chaitanya is talking about the glories of a Vaishnava, that they go to pilgrimage not to get purified, but purify the place. So that's why devotee association is probably rather the most important thing that we have as a congregation, because that is devotees, just associating with devotees, we get purified. What to talk about, even there is no even need to go to other places. So with that, I'll end here. If you have any questions or thoughts or comments, most welcome. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Abhay Charan Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Question. Sanatana Goswami was trying to speak some lies and also bribe. So is it okay to do those things for a higher purpose? He was doing that for a higher cause, to go and see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, you know everything, but thanks for asking that question. Yes, Prabhu, because for a higher cause, he was not doing it for a personal sense gratification. He was doing so that he can actually meet the Lord and spread the teachings of the Lord throughout the world. And in one sense, he did not lie, in the sense that he was actually telling the jailer that anyone who removes one from the shackles of imprisonment is a great person. So Sanatan Goswami, in one sense, he was actually indicating that how a person who is preaching and releasing the person from this material imprisonment is the greatest devotee. And that's what Lord Krishna also says, that whoever spreads my name or my teachings is the greatest and most dear to me. Tata, you yourself would like to add anything on that? Who can know more than you?
I wanted to see whether you know that. Sorry,
I hope I passed.
Fine.
Thank you, Tata. Oh, no, you go. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions, devotees, to Abhay Charan Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thanks for taking the class. Where can we learn more about stories of Sanatan Goswami and like Lord Chaitanya and other like 6 Goswamis? Is there any book or reference which you can like recommend?
Definitely. In fact, the story that I'm talking about is, if you want to refer, it should be in Madhya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. It's 20th chapter, if I'm mistaken. Yes, it's Madhya Leela, chapter 20. In fact, you can actually go and read. You'll get more details, and Srila Prabhupada has written an amazing summary of the story. And if you read the slokas, that's the whole story. I'm sure I missed many points, but you'll get it even more beautifully if you go and read there. Chaitanya Charitamrita is very, very sweet. If you can read, I mean, you won't be able to stop it. So please go and read that.
Got it. As per my understanding, is that right? A Chaitanya Charitamrita is like after you read Bhagavatam, then the next step is Chaitanya Charitamrita, or can we read in parallel? Like,
sure. I mean, like basically, the reason why it is given that you have to go first Bhagavad Gita, then Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita. The reason is that unless we understand the fundamental principles of devotional service and what is Krishna's position, we will not be able to appreciate Bhagavatam. And because Bhagavatam is more detailed than Bhagavad Gita. Now, from Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita is in fact even more confidential, because it gives such intimate details that if a person is does not have proper faith in Krishna, then he may be disturbed or he may be bewildered. But since you are practicing Krishna consciousness and you have full faith in Krishna, and definitely there's nothing wrong in reading. And Prabhupada has written in such a way that if we read with the right mood, there is no stopping. It's a beautiful book. You can definitely read.
okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So thank you for the wonderful class. One thought I had was, while Sanatana Goswami was inside the prison, how did he have the money? I used to think about that. I don't know if you could throw some lights on that. Haribol.
So Rupa Goswami, they were, if you know their background, they were probably one of the richest people on the planet at that time. So they were ministers and they had a lot of money, but they were not attached to it. And Rupa Goswami had saved some money with just like a bank, they would keep with another person. So Rupa Goswami tells him that I've kept the money there, and then you can take it. So that's those are slightly more details, but yeah, that's yeah, financial questions.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Nice class. I have no questions, but I learned a new thing today about Sanatana Goswami. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So when did Rupa Goswami join Sanatan Goswami?
So Rupa Goswami goes even before Sanatan Goswami. And Rupa Goswami actually writes a letter from there. In fact, there's a nice letter, and he gives a very cryptic sloka. Srila Prabhupada mentions in one of the purports. So there he talks about how Lord Krishna comes and Delos people, and Lord Ram comes and delivers people. Now in this age, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come and he's delivering people. So please surrender to him and somehow come over. So that's ultimately then Lord Chaitanya asks Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami to actually go to Vrindavan. And so today that we are seeing the temples in Vrindavan is so many temples we have the opportunity to go. This is the major work is done by Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and other Goswamis. So we are fortunate because of their service we have that.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thanks. When Mataji had a question or something, thought she wanted to share.
Hare Krishna, Abhay Charan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for nicely explaining about like how Sanatana Goswami met Gaura Mahaprabhu and their teachings. Thank you for nicely putting, and it is very enlightening to hear from you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Samanvitha and Prabhuji, very nice story, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for enlightening us. We don't want you to stop the story, Prabhu. We wanted to hear more. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita actually is so sweet that once we start reading, it's very nice. So everyone should read, and we all can enjoy more. And really, thanks to all the devotees who are organizing this. Because of this, you're keeping us in that mood of Krishna consciousness and Lord Chaitanya. Thanks to Satsar Prabhu and Jai Subhadra Mataji for arranging this. Thanks.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
All right, we have 6 more minutes to go. Any questions? Okay. So again, I think Abhay Charan Prabhu, I think all the devotees spoke on my behalf. And just for my purification, again, thank you so much for this class. I did not know about Sanatana Goswami's and Rupa Goswami's pastimes. So the first time I'm hearing, it was very enlightening. Thank you for enlightening all the devotees with the pastime. So with that, devotees, we are coming to the end of the program, today's program. So tomorrow we'll continue the same from 7 to 8 p.m. And the speakers for tomorrow will be Ram Tirtha Prabhu and Radha Damodar Prabhu. So with that, thank you so much for joining. We'll see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.